Guy,
Arsenal.
unnecessary stress. We shouldn't we shouldn't have made that game as difficult as it was for us, but I mean, has
This
a Premier League
this
side anyway.
this has to be another disturbing performance we've seen from the team.
Back to back
Aside from the
now.
fact that we got the 3 points, but it is a disturbing performance. Come on,
Facts,
Southampton.
facts, facts. And these are like this is the second like game now we're playing a newly promoted side and we're making it difficult for ourselves. That was the same thing that happened against Leicester. Now Southampton, like is like we needed that threat for us to wake up. And that is something like Mikel needs to like iron out amongst the boys. Like you don't need to be under pressure before you deliver. Go into the game, get the early goals, and solidify the game before you even start entertaining pressure or entertaining missed chances and all.
Bro.
Bruh,
So
I don't know.
normally we say 3
3 points
points Stogie.
Stogie. This is
This is
not
a new Stogie.
no.
I don't think he's deserving
It
of these
doesn't
3
deserve
points.
it. No. I
We
mean,
keep him for
it's
another
still
game.
three
Maybe the
points, so
Liverpool game.
bruh.
Maybe the Liverpool game.
You will need if we win against Liverpool, you need 2 Stogies.
No, but do you know the truth about it is?
Ah.
Before we even talk about the game, let's even looking forward to that Liverpool game. I think
Mm-hmm.
both of us are in a similar situation. Like
Mm-hmm.
the top 3 is very unstable right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even
Mm-hmm.
City is not as assured anymore
Mm-hmm.
moving forward because Rodri is out of the squad.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are not as assured anymore because we have some players missing. Our
Facts.
first 11 is not actually solidified due to injuries, due to some new players coming on board. Then you have a Liverpool that, not without a doubt, they can pull off a great performance. But
Mm-hmm.
against some teams, they might just shock you.
Mm-hmm.
We experienced it with Nottingham Forest. Today was a chance for Crystal Palace to actually pull up a point,
Yeah.
but they failed to do it. So
Yeah.
you imagine that for Liverpool to just score 1 goal against the Crystal Palace, what's really going on? For
Mm-hmm.
an Arsenal
Mm-hmm.
to have to use the second half of a game to come back into a game against
What's
a
going
newly
on?
promoted Southampton that is a team that has been benefiting everybody with goal difference. We are now not collecting goal difference from them.
I
But
know, right?
before we
So
go off ranting, thankfully we got our 3 points.
yeah.
We are moving on to the international break
Yeah.
gracefully with the feeling of victory.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at that first half, I will say, in my own opinion, not that I have anything against Gabriel Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
but he's a lost soul.
Yeah. So, first things first, I don't blame Arteta for tweaking the starting lineup because
No.
even as we tweaked the starting lineup, we had touches in the box, we had chances, we just didn't take them, But I still feel like Arteta took the game for granted. And it's not his fault. I mean, this is Southampton. This is an opportunity for us. We're playing at home. It's an opportunity for us to like give some guys more minutes. Start. I don't blame them. But in hindsight now, I think we would have started with our strong team, then giving guys more minutes after we had consolidated the game.
Now,
But, however, this is not excusing Gabriel Jesus.
now, I'm going to be with you on that point that benefit of hindsight, we're looking at we should have started with our strongest team.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons why I will support that notion is because we're actually going into the international break.
Yes.
What are you saving them
What are you
for?
resting players for? I mean, they have 2 weeks off. It's not like we are going to play like again on Wednesday or on Tuesday that you are saving legs for.
Yes.
Like, go with your best team. When you get the results, probably early in the second half, or you can even give people 45 minutes first half, 45 minutes another team, another player second half. But I don't think Arteta and the boys expected the game, especially the first half, to be like that.
So
that's where
would you say it was a lack of quality or just unfortunate turn of events in the first half that actually did not lead us into a goal? Because Southampton were battered in the first 10 minutes. We're looking at opportunities we had from errors that Ramsdale was also culpable for that we could have taken advantage of, but there was no cutting edge to finishing off those opportunities. So would you say that is as a result of the lack of quality from players like Gabriel Jesus and Sterling? Or it's
So
just an unfortunate circumstance of them not having the experience of starting a game in a long while?
I don't even think it's any of those two. What I would say is I think we took them for granted. You
Mm.
know, Yoruba would say we afoju kekere wo won. Like we use more eye to look at them. Like in terms of how we set up, there was nothing wrong. We can beat Southampton with that first 11 that started the first half. But in terms of like overplaying it in the final third, taking what close to like 20 touches or more. We had those touches in the box. Like, why didn't we take them? It's not as if it's not as if we don't have the quality players. So I think it's not lack of quality. I don't think is a series of unfortunate events. I just think we took them for granted, or we took those chances. Like you're dominating for 10 minutes. Why can't you score a goal? If you had scored one goal in that first 10 minutes, the feel of the game will be absolutely different.
Totally different.
So that's what I'll put it on. Mikel took them for granted in terms of tweaking too much. Then even the players also, took things for. I mean, maybe like they just or underestimated the chances, or just overplayed things. And I just think that's something that we need to address before
So
going to a team like Liverpool.
in as much as I would like to, put it on Mikel for the lineup in the first half, I think he has done justice to Gabi and Sterling to give them a start.
Yeah.
If there was any game they could have gotten a start, it's this game, right? They've been looking sharp. They've been playing well, but this was the best opportunity for them to stake their claim
Yeah. Yeah.
as a
And they can't blame
competitive option
anybody.
for those positions.
They
But
can't
right
blame
now,
anybody.
they can't blame anybody. So Gabriel Jesus has no excuses. He's clearly so. When I was watching him play in the 15th minute, I'm like, wait, what is
What's he
this guy
doing?
doing?
Exactly. What's he offering? Did you see what Trossard offered?
Yes.
Did you see what um even Martinelli on the flanks? I mean, obviously Martinelli, we're not comparing Martinelli's talents or skills to Jesus, but in terms of what you can bring into the game, your strong points. Like Martinelli would keep wide. He would wait. He would offer himself to be that outlet in terms of like the counter attack. So
Yes.
it's like you already know that okay, this is how he's going to apply himself. But Jesus, I was looking at him, I was like, you are overplaying the ball. Where you should have dropped the passes,
You are
you
not dropping
you
the
didn't drop the
pass.
passes. Where you should have gone for a goal, you tried to pass. That was like in the second half. I mean, I'm like, where you should have taken on your player, you're passing back. I'm like, he's making all the wrong decisions. And I saw some tweets, people were talking about how um his confidence is growing. I'm like, this guy has not been,
At
it's
all.
not as if he has been out or injured for like months. He has been fit for a while. It's not a case of confidence. You had the chances. Score. You cannot put in a good performance against Southampton. What are you now asking for? Is it against Liverpool that you think you will get 10 minutes? You even get 15 minutes. You even get 5 minutes. I don't expect him to enter that game at all.
So my worry now is for that striking position, we are so thin.
Yeah.
We are so thin. Like for us to say our strike options, number one is Kai Havertz. No hate to Kai Havertz. He's one of our standard players for all the games so far.
Mm-hmm.
But we did not come into this new season thinking Kai Havertz would be our number one option as a striker.
Mm-hmm.
Number two option now being Trossard.
Hmm.
Come on.
The
Then
gap. The
I
gap
don't even
between Kai.
I can't even call Jesus as a number three option because he's not even a striker. He's not playing as a striker. His hold up play is poor. His touches are now poor. Finishing is terrible. Did you see
Decision
see
making.
what he did when he had that chance in the second half?
Yes. Decision making call.
Look,
Nah.
so
He
I,
should be disappointed with his performance, and hopefully, I mean, somebody in the dressing room is telling him the truth that guy, you are not putting in the shift. And which reminds me of that analogy that I was saying, you know, in terms of Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko, right?
mm,
there are the there are the Tokumbo tires that we bought to our car when we're trying to get out of the trenches. Now
Yeah,
we are out of the trenches. We are past those qualities.
way past it.
We are past those qualities. I mean, I saw Calafiori at left back, and I was like, this is what I have missed in a left back. Even though he's not like perfect, he still enters risky tackles and all. But I'm like, this is that confidence that I want whenever their right wing is attacking my left back. I wouldn't be afraid. I wouldn't be scared. I know that, oh yeah, I'm good. So that confidence is also what is lacking when we see players like Jesus right now.
Hmm.
Is because where our team has gotten to, we don't need those Tokumbo tires anymore. We are
Yeah,
now we are now going forward.
it's the natural progression of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's there is no hard feelings.
Absolutely, he's
No
done his
hard
job.
feelings at all. See, see,
Thanks for your
see,
services.
Ramsdale for an example now. Ramsdale
Mm-hmm.
was actually one of our star boys
Yeah.
just a couple of seasons
Mm-hmm.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
But now we are looking that we've grown past him, and
Absolutely.
we have to give kudos to Arteta for the ruthlessness in decision making as far as that position is concerned. But now I'm questioning his ruthlessness in terms of Kai Havertz attacking position, Gabriel Jesus. What are we doing? What are we doing? How are we not having how are we not having a depth in attacking positions that we can say yes, we are, because look at Liverpool.
So
Even Aston
something
Villa
else.
has a depth in attacking positions that we can't claim to have. Watkins
Absolutely.
to Duran. Come
So
on.
something else. Something else. I also saw in Arteta's substitutes when
Mm,
he brought in all those guys. Right. I think for me, I was like, if I were Jesus or one of or Sterling or whoever was being subbed off,
yeah.
especially Jesus and Sterling, I would see those substitutes as Arteta saying, "Yo, I gave you your chance. Now come
Absolutely.
off. Now it's now time for us to win. So get out of the pitch, and I
He
want to
made
win
it
this game now." He made
he
it
made it
clear.
pretty clear. He made it
Yeah,
pretty clear. Like when we
and
tried to get the job done.
and the performance of the team changed. Like I don't think any of I mean, especially Jesus, because I don't think Sterling will be like feeling disgruntled for not entering the team, right? He's on
Mm,
loan and everything. But a player like Jesus cannot blame anybody but himself. He cannot, if you're like feeling somehow more, get out. Because right now, the only reason why, I mean, I would not let him go in January because of squad like limits. Like if I'm getting a striker in January, like quality striker, yes, I
yeah.
don't mind. But for me, I just see like we need to up our quality from Jesus and um
Yeah, so I think this game was a good opportunity for Arteta to evaluate his team and his squad depth. In the sense that, okay, we're going to do the business in the Premier League and we need to
mhm,
actually rest some players. Do we
mhm,
have what it takes to do the job with certain teams? So, for instance, now, without a doubt, we know that the best we can get from Jesus and Sterling is probably in the Carabao Cup or
mhm,
coming to play games off the bench when we've secured the game.
yeah, or FA
He,
Cup.
yeah, so he took a big gamble, right? But the gamble was worth taking at this point of the season,
Yeah,
which I will
yeah.
not fault him for. So
Mhm.
now this is basically going to feed into the decision they are going to make at the end of the season when they need to bolster the squad. But I'm
Absolutely.
looking at I'm looking at a Gabi Jesus as someone that needs more time coming off the bench than starting any game, right?
Fact.
He needs to pick up this team. I don't doubt his talent, but there is a disconnect he has in terms of his productivity. It's too glaring, and someone like Trossard coming off the bench and seeing what he delivers to the team
Yeah.
makes me look at Jesus with such great disappointment.
Facts. Let me remind you of something. Remember when his first season with us, right? When he was banging those goals, debut against Leicester. Yeah, was it against Leicester?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
against Leicester. How he was doing. He was not complicating moves. He was almost being rapid, being very sharp, like on the end, one touch strikes.
I think
All this kind of, you pass, he just, hits the
yeah.
ball.
So I think
So I don't know what's wrong with him.
Jesus has connected with what made his spark shine, which is intuitiveness. He's an intuitive player. He
Mm-hmm.
has that intuition to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just do the shima and make a
Yeah.
decision. But now,
Yeah.
because he has been cut off from, you know,
Now
game
wants to
time,
overdo
confidence is low. He's now leaving that place of intuition to over analyzing things. And I think he does that typical Brazilian that they don't need to think too much on the ball. But
it. Same
if
thing
they get
happened
to
to
think so much,
Martinelli as well.
yes, if they get to think too much, they make the wrong decisions, they overcomplicate things, and they don't get
Facts.
productive. So that's what's
Facts.
happening with him. That's what's
Facts.
happening with him. Even my concern too was in the last 3 games with Saka. I
Mm-hmm.
think Saka has been overcomplicating some things, and his goal output is telling on that. You know
Mm-hmm.
how he actually caught on his left, and
Mm-hmm.
but now he's trying to make sure that it is perfect, and he's now not pulling it off.
And he's focusing more on those far post crosses.
So all in all,
No,
after
but
chastising the boys, I'm just gonna say
nah, it was a good test for us.
it was a good test. Yeah.
We made it a test for us. There was it wasn't as if Southampton was a threat. We made them, we
Yes.
allowed them grow into the game. So again, it's still a case of Arsenal versus Arsenal. Like, we are our own biggest enemies, so, or biggest opponents. So again, is another test where we have we have had to play against, almost as if we've had to play against ourselves in terms of your worst performance versus your best performance. Another game of two halves.
And it's mind-boggling that we're
Yeah,
having this at home.
yeah.
You remember
Another
when
game
we
of
made
two
our
halves.
predictions? And this might
Yeah.
even play out for the rest of the season for me. Anybody listening to this that wants to get anything in terms of betting or whatever, just see, assure you
Arsenal
that
will
both
concede
sides
at
will
home.
score.
Arsenal will concede at home.
Arsenal will consider home. My prediction was a 4-1 win.
Yeah.
Your prediction was a 2-0.
It was a
I think,
2-0.
and in my mind, I'm like, at home, I will never predict a clean sheet at home.
So the reason why I was even predicting a 2-0 was, like, I felt it was going to be a low scoring game.
They will
I
sit
just
back.
thought, yeah, I thought we were going to, like, struggle to score. But I didn't see. I was expecting Southampton to just, like, sit back and frustrate us, and all like that, and maybe we'll just scrap in one set piece goal or one rebound or one far post, nicking all these kind of goals. That was what I was expecting. But when we went one goal down, I was like, nah, this is another situation where we have to, like, now dig deep and now, look for a response and
While the
all.
game was going on, remember, I don't know, you didn't read my message. I sent you a message that I think we need Southampton to score.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw it. I saw it. It was
And
like a few seconds before they scored or something.
yes,
Yeah.
and just when I sent that out, I looked up and I saw the gameplay. A
And
switch up,
yeah,
Sterling looking for foul. I'm like, guy, will you track back? And unfortunately, we considered that goal. But in my mind, I was quite certain that, okay, this is what we needed.
even the stadium woke up.
Yes, and we're like, okay, this is a game that can slip through our hands if we don't take heed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll have to give a big kudos to Kai Havertz.
Hey God.
I
Nah.
didn't think I would be feeling this way about Kai Havertz right now. Like, I'm
Nah.
going to be bothered if I ever see a lineup without
Without
Kai
him.
Havertz up front.
God.
Yeah. So now
Even if
it's
even if he's in the middle right now. So you know how, like, when we're setting up, especially when we're setting up the game, it looked like Kai was going to play in the 10th position.
yeah.
Then when we don't have the ball and we are setting up in a 4-4-2, it was going to be Kai and Jesus up front. Even with that, Kai put in a good shift. Did you see the hard work? Obviously, he scored a good goal. He got us back into the game. But there are so many things that Kai does that goes under the radar. The physicality,
Let me tell
the
you one
winning
other
of
thing that he
balls.
did in this game that bust my head. You know that ball, I think was the Saka assist for
To
the far,
Martinelli.
to the far post goal. You know, there was a contention in the midfield where he actually lost the ball, but he still stretched out.
He
That
used his
tells you
leg.
yes, and he still
Was it,
dropped a pass
was it that one?
for
No, no. I
Saka.
think it was Saka's goal. The one that Trossard was now on the counter.
Oh yeah. It was
Yes.
Saka's
It
goal.
was It was the third goal. I was like, no, even there was another time where it was like throwing and the ball was almost out and he just ran. No, 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 no. He
Kept the
put
ball
in a
in.
good
No,
shift and I think
it's putting in a good shift.
yes,
I can't
you
take
see
it away from him that.
you see that thing that Odegaard is the dictator of our tempo when we're pressing.
Mm.
Now, if we have an Odegaard and a Kai, two tempo dictators, we are a different team in terms of pressing when you have a Kai and Odegaard. Not because, yes, it's only Odegaard or anything, no, but
Yeah.
it's mainly because of Kai's pressing abilities. Not that he's the fastest presser, but physicality,
Positioning.
he's there.
Yeah.
Positioning, he's there. In winning duels, he's there. I really want to see his stats in his winning of duels percentage. Because
Yeah.
bro,
Solid now.
he puts in the
He
work.
puts in the work. He puts in
He
the work.
puts in the work.
Ah.
Another person that I wasn't too impressed with was Declan.
Hmm.
Even though he didn't do anything bad, but he was a little bit sloppy in terms of when he's driving the ball. Maybe the touch is now too far, then the defender is now coming in, then you now have to like nick a pass. All those kind of things they cause injury. Now when they go come match your ankle, you come get another
Yeah.
2 weeks where you should have been neater with the ball.
Talking about each of the players' performances, I think we should even go to the player ratings because a lot of players had some kind of iffy performances, right?
Yeah,
So
Jorginho wasn't bad.
Jorginho wasn't bad, but I think he was taken out of the game because we needed more legs in that game because of
Facts,
transition play. We're,
facts,
we're,
facts,
we're looking
facts.
at a risk of getting turned over
True.
against the run of play, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where you don't want
Mm-hmm.
Jorginho on your team
Go
because he's not going to
cast.
catch
He
up.
go cast.
Yeah. so,
Facts.
so, but starting from Raya, I considered a goal. It was at risk of conceding another goal with that corner, that set piece that he was
Yeah,
meant
all
to
those
punch
area
out.
balls. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would give him a 6. I would give him a
Yeah, I'll give
6.
Raya a 6. He didn't do anything bad, and neither did he do anything outstanding. So I'll give him a
Yeah,
6.
so it was a 6 performance for me. So if I go to the right back position, when I saw the starting lineup and I saw Thomas
Partey,
Partey,
I
no,
was
so
impressed.
no, so when I saw Thomas Partey, I was bothered, but
Yeah.
I took it as a form of caution that Arteta played on in the sense that we wanted to have the ball and have a lot of creativity. So I looked at it that it's possibly going to be like a back three, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah, it
Partey is
was.
still going to be playing, deep playmaker
Mm-hmm.
role, sort of. But he did great. He did
Mm-hmm.
great. Like he didn't have so much of a job to do as a fullback.
But he puts in. It's one of Partey's. You remember when the first time we saw a Partey right back setup,
Mm,
Community Shield, right?
yeah.
It almost reminded me of that game because if you look at the freedom Saka had going forward, not necessarily tracking back, but going forward, obviously you would expect Partey to, as a right back, to be
Overlap.
overlapping and stuff like that, but he
Mm.
wasn't doing that. He was sitting back because look at how many shots Partey got today from 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 Saka cutting in and laying it
And link the
for
pass
him.
to him.
So
Yeah.
it shows his position where he was. So I feel like is a different is another different tactical approach
Yeah.
from Arteta, and Partey's fitness and obviously form that has been increasing also played out well for him. But I also think like is on Arteta's side, he didn't want to risk Timber or Ben White because yesterday in his pre-match conference he said they were in contention. So I really don't want to entertain any fear that Partey will
Yeah.
be our right back in the next
No,
coming.
no. When I saw Tomiyasu on the bench, I'm like, okay,
I was
this.
happy. I was happy.
I
I
was
missed
happy,
it.
and I knew it was a tactical approach to the game to give us some
Yeah,
control.
absolutely.
We're not going to be battered on that right side because Southampton basically is not really an attacking threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give Partey a 7, a standard 7.
Yeah.
Uh, Saliba. Saliba did okay, nothing bad, though he had some iffy moments where his ball trapping ability was called into question. I
Yeah,
don't know if you know.
but it's still Saliba.
They still Saliba, but Saliba
Still
still
Saliba.
had those moments where he was so cool, calm on the ball.
Bro, I'm like, how can he be this? I was under pressure that he was cool. And I'm like, how can he be this cool with the ball? And you're like, oh, as a
Yeah,
center back. Nah.
I, I
Saliba, Gabriel, I'll give them a 7 as
I'll
well.
give them 7 as well. Then
Yeah.
Fury
Yeah, I want to hear what you feel about Calafuri.
is an exciting player. He's
Mm-hmm.
an exciting player. I'm so excited to watch him play. I'm also looking forward to his improvements.
Mm,
And that improvement is not on his ability, but on his understanding of the game and maturity.
mm,
Because against some teams, someone like Calafuri will be cut out.
mm.
We had those moments where Acha had plenty space behind him, and I'm like, what's going on? And
Even
I'm not looking at him that is it that he doesn't have the pace to cover and he's committing so much forward, but in terms of his ball playing ability,
inversion.
his
You see
inversion,
Calafuri left back in the right center mid. You
yeah,
see him in the midfield, like, progressing the ball. And I'm like, oh, I've missed so much of this in my left back. But as you said, there's still room for improvement in terms
yeah.
of how rash he can be, in terms of going into the tackles,
That in
positioning.
between tackle he had with Aribo, I was
I was
bothered for
scared.
him because
Yeah.
on a different day, maybe with a different player, it can be
Yeah.
a nasty
Yeah.
injury
Even
he'll
for
pick up
yeah,
that way.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, then even but there were times where he was cut off, where there was space behind him and his
Yeah,
pace was exposed. Like that dribbling guy, bruh. That was an exciting guy.
yeah.
That dribbling guy, he there was one time that Calaferi was basically couldn't catch up with him.
So I'm like, just
And
don't pull him, please.
I was like,
Don't
just
pull
don't
him.
foul. If you want to foul him now, like outside. Like no one knows, say, okay, say the guy no enter box. But once he started getting into the box, I was like I was a little bit tense, but all in all, he was still there, disturbing and everything. So I still feel like, there's still room for improvement for him. And he's gonna get better. But
Yeah.
notwithstanding, Calafiori is key on that left side. Now, fact, standard.
Standard. We can see how the left side of our game. If Martinelli started this game, I believe we would have had
Easy. Easy. We could have scored in the
different
first half.
experience in the first half.
Yeah.
So I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7. It feels some type of way to give him a 7, but I'll give him a 7 because if we're playing against a more proficient attacker, he would have,
He go cast.
he
He
would
go
have
cast.
casted big time. So yeah. Now talking about uh midfield, I'll start with Jorginho. Jorginho was, taking the ball around, doing the right things, I would basically give him a 7 as well. It's just that we needed something more to actually win
Mm-hmm.
the game, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him that. What would you think about his performance in the game?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was a
To be honest,
mature performance from.
yes. And Jorginho was the only person that was giving those true passes from the midfield.
Yeah,
I mean, he
absolutely.
was giving Saka true passes. He was trying to, like, those just cutting through the low block and everything. And that's what I'm expecting from Rice, from Partey, from Jorginho, from Merino as well. So I just feel like for that I will give Jorginho a 7.
Yeah.
I was still put him in his, like, he put in a matured performance, and he didn't cast, so to say.
Yeah, now coming to our man, our
Bryce.
Declan.
I'll give Bryce a 6.
But he didn't particularly do anything wrong. He was just not his A game. The
Yeah.
decision making at some point in time was off. When he blasted some shots, his set piece taking 2 also, the near post, and I'm like, what's going on? Change your tactics. It doesn't have to go to
Mm-hmm.
the near post all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with the 6, majorly because we hold him to a higher standard.
Mm-hmm.
But he
Mm-hmm.
had I would say he had an average performance. For an average
Yeah.
performance, I think,
Very average.
yeah, I
Very
think a
average.
6 is fair. I think a 6 is
Mm-hmm.
fair. Now, Kai Havertz, I'll give Kai Havertz an 8. Looking
Easy.
to Kai Havertz, I'll give him an 8 easily. The work rate, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The productivity as well that I'm seeing from him in the middle of the park, in the absence of, Trossard, in the
Odegaard.
absence of our captain, Odegaard,
Yeah.
and he was able to pull off a goal. Not just pulling off that goal, but pulling off the goal in a critical point of the game.
When we
Because
needed, yes,
if we hadn't come back in that moment,
my
those guys
problem.
would have had an opportunity to sit back and defend
True,
properly. So
true.
we got back into the game soon, thanks to Kai Havertz. So yeah, it's I'll give him 8. In fact, I would say he's a contention for man of the match as well.
Easy,
He's
yeah.
the
He is.
contender for man of the match.
He
But
is.
moving on to our wonderful player Saka,
Starboy.
Starboy.
Starboy
Starboy,
is.
we have to give him nothing less than an 8. All right.
Why are you giving Starboy 8? It should be 10.
Oh no, come on, please.
Bro, he
Please.
had a goal and 2 assists, and we scored 3 goals.
I didn't say we are giving him an 8. I say nothing less than an 8.
You can't even give him 8.
Why can't
In
you give him?
my player rating, I just erased it. I raised it from 9 to 10.
Uh,
But let me just put it as a 9 because he didn't score a hat trick, and he didn't have a hat trick of assists.
yeah, he was sharp. Looked very sharp.
Yeah, he looked
Looked a
sharp.
threat.
Yeah,
In the first half, it was unfortunate that he had to play alongside some mugs that were not on his
bro.
frequency.
He was triple marked.
Yeah, so
He was like they had 3 players on Saka. I was like, yo.
yeah.
So there was little or nothing he could do. And yes, as you said, the players that were playing around him as well were not giving those movements to maybe like take one of the defenders off or distract movement and just make things happen. So
Because I'm wondering why we had more combination play on the right side with Kai and Saka than Gabi Jesus and Saka. Because Gabi Jesus was not doing a job centrally. You
he
move
didn't
to
do
the
centrally.
right
He
and
didn't
support
do.
him.
He didn't do with he didn't put in any combination play with Sterling. He didn't put any combination play with Saka.
So what's
Nothing.
going on?
So what was he doing? He didn't do anything. He didn't offer anything.
Please, let's give
Where is this
let's
self? I
let's
didn't
give
even write
Gabriel.
his name.
Let's Gabriel. What score are you going to give him? I can't give him anything more than a 5.
5. What am I saying? 4 self.
4 because come on.
4.
This is a star player that we signed
This
thinking
is your chance for you to score goals, at least score more
and get
than
your
one goal.
confidence back.
And get your confidence back, then give Arteta like problem.
Thinking about it. Gabi
I'll
has
be
not scored.
surprised if they.
He has not scored a goal in the longest time. That is so uncomfortable to think of for an attacker.
So before even when he doesn't score, we will still be like, oh, he'll still be putting in assists, all this hard work that we are crediting Kai Havertz to now. We'll still be like, oh, he's still working for the team, he's still a system player, blah blah blah. Now, even they contribute to system, even they score, they assist. So what are you doing?
When we considered, I'm like, they should roll this guy off the pitch. I
I
bet.
didn't even expect him to come out in the second half.
No, me, I knew that Arteta might not make that change in the second half. We want to
Because he's
give
not
them an
that.
opportunity to, let's see if we can get something quickly in the first 10 minutes of the second half. But nothing came out. And I'm like, you know what, get this guy off. Get him off. So I'll give him a 4. Moving across to Sterling. I'll give Sterling a 5.
Same.
I'll give
That's what
Sterling
I
a
have.
5. Decision making poor. The way he fell into those critical positions where you felt he could have done better with.
Pass the ball. It's the same thing. Same old Sterling that Chelsea fans used to complain about. Pass the ball. You've already beaten your guy. You're a winger. It's not until you do, then you lose the ball. Then people will now like, oh, but I was trying to dribble. No, it's when you dribble and pass the ball. Like you must have like an output, like a product, like that you are doing all this hard work for.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, nobody remembers anything that you've done
At all.
So again, just as I
can't-
said, like he was being an outlet, so to say, in terms of by his pace and all like that. But his decision making was still poor, and he wasn't really. He was in those positions, but he could have made like to score or to assist. He could have made better
That made the most
positions.
sense. And
Yeah.
again, the only reason why I was just defensively too, he didn't do a job.
He didn't.
Martinelli came on to show you that, okay, the exposure that Calafiori was getting was as a result of
Thank
Sterling's lack
you.
of endeavor helping.
Thank you. When Diblin, when all these guys were running Calafiori, especially when Calafiori had already inverted and had spaces behind him or all the kind of thing, that was where Sterling needs to put a defensive shift, just like we see from Martinelli.
Yeah.
And that was what I was trying to tell you during the game as well, that I won't be too harsh on him, right? Because he's still getting to
Understand.
learn how we play
Yeah.
and get familiar with the team, right? So, I mean, obviously, I'll be like, "Oh, you're a quality player. You should know, right?" So, but I won't go too deep on him like that because he can still learn some things
Yeah, no,
and
so
come up good for us.
as it is right now, I would say for Carabao Cup, FA Cup, I don't mind Sterling. But
Mm-hmm,
you see Gabi Jesus, even for Carabao or FA, he should come on as a sub. Please.
mm-hmm.
I will start eating one Neri above Jesus. Yes. Please. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. This summer they should roll him
No,
up,
no, no,
send
no.
him to Libertadores. Send him away, let him go to Brazil and play samba ball there, please.
One of my guys on Twitter said that he should get out, that he should go and play third division in Brazilian league.
He should go. He should go. I'm serious. No, look at what we're trying to do at the Arsenal now. Look at what we're trying to
Ah,
do.
no,
It does
no, no.
not come close to it. It does not
He
come
doesn't.
close to it.
He doesn't. Now
So
confirm
please,
Tokumbo tire.
I will take a
But
Nunes over him now.
bruh, when I saw that link, I was like, man, I'll
I will
take
take a
Nunes.
Nunes over him.
I'll take a Nunes.
Ah,
How would you rate Trossard though?
honestly speaking, I'll give. It's an interesting one because it might sound harsh, but I'll give Trossard a 6.
Okay, what are your reasons?
I would have given him an easy 7, but we could have made this game a thumping victory for us with 2 more goals. But
Facts.
Trossard
Facts.
got lackadaisical in some decisions he made.
Did you see that leg over he was trying to do for that Saka's
Bro!
goal?
I'm like,
I'm
what
like,
are
if
you
you want to
doing that for?
Give Martinelli. If you want to give Saka, give Saka. Even there was another goal. There was another pass that he gave Martinelli that was too long.
Too long.
I was like,
And we were on
why?
them. We were right on them. He should have delivered. He should have delivered that pass on time.
Normal Trossard will do like, bro. We've seen him do it against West Ham, against Brighton, where he would fake with your left, bring the ball back to his right. I mean,
That's
you can strike it to yourself.
I
You
will
can pass it to your left. You can pass it to your right. But
I
but
would give
he
him I would give him a 6 just for all of those
yeah.
moments. Yeah,
But he
but
did he gave us a different approach in terms
yeah.
of the midfield. Yeah.
So but the substitutions from Arteta, quality.
Solid.
Quality.
Solid.
We knew that he meant business. The new boy that we saw now, Merino,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give him some time to bed into the team, no doubt. But I was impressed with some of the forward plays he made.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that ball he sent to Martinelli. We're looking
Mm-hmm.
for that
Mm-hmm.
from our midfielder. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited
Yeah.
for what the future bodes with someone like that in our midfield. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.
No, I'll give him a 6 actually because
Yeah, I was going to say a 6, but
yeah.
that 7 was because of that endeavor he put in
Yeah.
terms of
So the reason why
how.
I would even give him a 6 in terms of what he brought in, like I think his role was to just calm things down. To just
Yeah,
like calm things down, but still with the opportunity of the forward passes, he was in those duels. Like again, I've seen part of the things that we bring him in for was to combat and win those duels, those physical duels, and he was there just like against PSG. I think he won like 4 duels against PSG in how many minutes? Then um today as well, he was physical, his positioning. So I think, as you said, is reasons for us to be excited, especially on what that left side could bring to us now.
could
We're
bring.
talking about Calafiori, we're talking
Yeah,
about Merino, and we're talking about like Martinelli on that left side. So we're like, well, it's very
it's
exciting times
the
for
future
us.
looks bright with those guys on
Absolutely.
our left side. So, who else from the substitute
Tomiyasu,
bench? Tomiyasu. I'm happy to have Tomiyasu back.
I'm happy. I've missed him.
I'm really happy to have him back. So I actually will give him a 6 as well.
Same,
Um,
same.
simply because he didn't have so much time on the field, but he
Hmm.
did the job.
And he
Um,
almost scored.
actually, yeah, he actually
Yeah,
almost
he
did.
almost
So,
scored as well. So like
because
he was there. He gave Saka that cover on the right back, and
Mhm.
he was also overlapping as well. He was just like, I've missed Tomiyasu because one underrated um um skill from Tomiyasu is his passing range. He's a good
Yeah,
passer, so I also feel like that's something else that we're going to have, like from Tomiyasu to Martinelli or Tomiyasu to Saka, either crossing across the field or just going forward,
yeah.
and also in inversion as well. When he inverts and he enters like striking position or in the midfield, he's quality, so he can
And
offer us something
that's
as well.
good news for the defense because right now, off the top of my head, I can pick three players that we have in defense that are very good passers of the ball. Starting with Tomiyasu, Ben
Hmm.
White, now Calafiori. He's a very good passer
Saliba,
of the ball.
Gabriel. To
Saliba
be
too.
honest, all of them
All
can
of them
pass.
are good passers
Timber,
of the ball. All
all of
of
them,
them.
all of them are good
Saliba,
passers.
funny how actually does a very good shift in terms of passing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
feel, I feel Saliba will be playing striker during training. He'll be playing forward.
he was a striker before now. He
Yeah,
started off as a striker. So
yeah.
one of those players that still have very, very good, ball striking
Now Mbappe,
abilities at their
now
peak.
Mbappe, now Mbappe Papa turn out to defender.
True, true, true. So for Arteta altogether, I think I'll give him a 7.
Based on his substitutes. If those substitutes did not bang,
Yes.
is a
Yes.
bang average
Yeah. So
rating.
that 7 is 2 up from the 5 I would have given him if
Yeah,
we had even won 2-1. Right?
yeah,
But the
yeah,
fact that we were still able to put in another goal just emphasizes the fact that we actually had game
yeah,
changers on the field.
yeah.
It
And it
switched,
also shows that he's responsive because his substitutes changed the
changed the
game.
game.
Changed the
Absolutely.
game.
Absolutely.
I also want to talk about something like they call us set piece FC, but
Bro.
I really, really don't
Bro.
think we are that much of a threat. Look at how many corners we had today.
We had like about 13 or 14 corners now.
Yes.
And we couldn't convert one. But I also suspected that with the way the game was, Ramsdale has an understanding of what could happen in terms of corners. So
Yes.
he actually did a good job in
Mm-hmm.
anticipating where the balls were going to drop.
Yeah.
Right. So they had the presence there. And
Mm-hmm.
the way we've been playing our corners so far, it looks like we are now so assured and now teams are catching on to the strategy. So
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see some dynamism in terms of
Exactly. Switch it up.
either putting it right to the middle, not just to the far post, or
Mm-hmm.
having some short plays. Because right
Exactly.
now, it looks like everybody's anticipating all those. But if you actually do a short play, you have clear
You would
opportunity
scatter
to
everybody.
scatter everybody. And
Yeah.
so imagine a scenario where we have an Odegaard back
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's anticipating Saka to take in
Mm-hmm.
the long far post strike, but he now drops it to Odegaard.
Shots.
That will set in a lot of commotion,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which will still now open the far post for Odegaard to drop it in, for
Mm-hmm.
someone
Mm-hmm.
like a Kai
Mm-hmm.
or a Gabriel to do the
Absolutely.
job. So I think Nikola Jovic needs to,
They
tweak
need
it
to
a
sit
little
up.
bit
They
more.
need to like tweak things up because
Yeah,
I think like this one now, this particular corner routine has been clocked. So we
absolutely.
need to move it. And I mean, you can't have 11 corners. But even if they're not, even if you're not like a known club for set piece, you can't have 11, 13 corners and not have anyone on
On
target.
target. It was a
So
freak of a game. I will not even lie.
it
It was a
was,
freak of a game,
yeah,
especially looking at the team we're playing. Come on, it was a freak of a game.
fact.
But now we are moving on to the international break, which is going to be a dreary time for us, waiting
2
for
weeks,
football
bro.
to get. But 2 weeks. I don't know why it has to be so soon,
Did
but
they go Dubai, I beg?
we'll use that time to cool off. We use that time to cool off, and hopefully we get back Odegaard by the time we return. We have a
Amen.
big game coming up by the time we return against Liverpool. I believe we should be able to do the job. Though I know
Emirates.
we'll concede goals. We are coming to the Emirates. We'll concede goals. I think the game I'm looking forward to this season with Liverpool is in Anfield.
Mm.
At Emirates, We can nick it. We can nick it. Though I feel a lot of goals will be scored. Probably going to be like a 3-2 or a
Oh
4-2
yeah.
game. So, but yeah, I know Liverpool will concede for sure.
Ah, Salah versus Calafiori. That would be fun to
Yeah.
watch.
It's not. See, what we need to do in that game is going to be similar to what we did against PSG. We just need to maintain a discipline. We can actually
Mm.
score 2 goals in quick succession because those guys have a challenge defensively as well.
Yeah, of course, of course.
They are
Even midfield.
they are
Even
caught
midfield.
open. You see that Trent is going to dread an experience with
Yeah,
Martinelli.
even in the midfield, right? Apart
Mm,
from Gravenberch, like I don't think Soboslai, McAllister. I mean, they are threats going forward. I see them as threats going forward. I don't see them as like
defensive
security
threats. No.
defensively.
Mm.
So I don't think. I think like it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be fun. Like for us, that's going to be what our third test. We've played City, we've played
City,
Tottenham,
Tottenham, Aston Villa.
Aston Villa. I mean, that'll be our fourth test. Then we will
Yeah.
not be playing Liverpool. So like, if we can get a result
Yeah.
from there, bro, it's a statement maker. And I mean, these are the table leaders now. So
Yeah.
it's not going to be a walk in the park.
Definitely. But those are the games. Those are the games I now look forward to. Like the games you
Yeah,
expect to be a walk in the park. That's where we have these nervy endings. But the game
yeah,
that you know that okay, we're actually on it because
yeah. Then you'll not be like, like
we're
you guys are
expecting major
so
competition.
composed. Yeah, I mean, obviously we played a weaker PSG side, but I was still expecting a closer game than it was. But the performance I saw, I was like, oh, so we can play this kind of matured performance. Then we're
Yeah.
back to a Southampton in our house, and we are playing like this. So again, it's just one of those interesting moments of being an Arsenal fan.
Yeah. It's all good, my G.
Nice one, man.
All right, brotherly. Nice one. So we'll catch up again during the international break,
During the
just to
international break, yeah.
have some conversations on moving forward with the season. All right, brotherly.
Facts. No problem, man. Yeah. Easy.
Peace out.